It's amazing how little insignificant events can change everything and turn your life upside down. On March the 24th at exactly 3:19 p.m., my life changed forever, and it was never the same again. You see, it all started with me checking the mail that day. In the mailbox was a white, unassuming envelope with my name on it. I was expecting it for a few days now, and as I opened it, and as I looked inside was a check for $27,055.17, and it had my name on it. I was really excited because on March the 24th I had turned 26 and made more money in a single payday than most songwriters make in an entire year. And I did it by only working a few days a week and about 2 to 3 hours per day in my spare time. Now, this happened many, many times before. Getting 5-figure checks for a few days' work wasn't anything new. But this time it was different. It was different because as I stood there holding that 5-figure check, I realized something. I finally realized that I finally had what I've been looking for all along. No, not the money itself. The money that doesn't matter. I've realized something much, much more important than that. I realized that I never had to worry about another thing in life ever again, and that I could experience the kind of freedom and choice in life that few people ever experience, all because I finally had the ability to make money at will, thanks to being an excellent songwriter, the ability to generate obscene amounts of money whenever I wanted to, just writing a few songs. And with that, I experienced a sudden flood of mixed emotions that took me back to a time when my life was very different than it is today. Back to a time when I was homeless, a time when I had to live off my girlfriend. I had nothing, I was a loser. Back to the early part of my career, and made me think, how is it that someone like me, who wasn't making any money whatsoever, got to making up to $27,000. Now that's $27,055.17, starting out without any money, without having any contacts, without having had much experience, and without having to move more than a pen to paper. I was able to go from broke to making over $25,000 in a single day, because of 2 little events that actually changed everything and turned my life upside down. That's why you've been exclusively invited to watch this video today. Now I'm going to share with you something that very few people will ever know about. And hopefully you can experience these 2 events for yourself too, so that your life can change upside down for the better. All I ask of you is to keep what I'm about to share with you to yourselves and not share it, since this is an invite-only video that's not available to the general public. I want you to keep this to yourself. Deal? Well, what you're about to discover has only been shared with a handful of people who either work closely with me or have each paid up to $5,000 to be a part of a private invite-only mentoring mastermind hosted by 2 close friends of mine. Now, it's amazing how this whole thing actually came about. In my early days, the economy was booming, and it seemed that everywhere you turned, people were getting rich. Everyone was getting rich. Everyone except me. Some were getting rich in the real estate, some were getting rich in the stock market, and many were quietly getting rich songwriting. It seems that people were generating millions of dollars out of thin air. And there I was. I was 21 years old, living on the streets, a homeless bum. I was meant to be in university like everyone else, so that hopefully I could get a nice, comfy, secure 9-to-5 job, then get a career and sail into a nice, cozy life with a happy ending. Seems like that's the common road traveled by the average person these days. Get a job, get credit cards, get into debt, and live life in mediocrity, working for someone else, and settle for what you can get, except there are no happy endings on that road. That's the way I was headed to. except for two unexpected random events that changed everything and put me on the road less traveled. Now, these two events are what allowed me to go from making no money to generating up to $27,000 in a single payday, working a few hours a day from home. Isn't it amazing how such small events can change the course of our lives for the better? They say that the best things in life come to you by accident, and that's true. The first event happened when, somehow, I was watching something on the TV that unlocked the door to another world. A world where you can work a few hours a day, a few days a week, and make more money in a single payday than most people make in an entire year working grueling 9-to-5 jobs. This world was the world of music, and it was allowing regular, everyday people to get richer than they ever dreamed possible. Some were even making up to $1 million in a single month. This first event woke me up to the possibility that you can make a lot of money in music if you truly wanted to. You've got to realize something though. You see, at the time, I didn't know a single thing about the music industry. All I knew was that others were making obscene amounts of money in music, and I wanted to do it too. I figured that if others were doing it, it couldn't be that hard. And if others were doing it, I could do it too. So, from that moment on, I realized that I desperately needed a change from my broke life. Just like you have probably realized that something in your life just has to change. And for me, being dead broke had to change. I quit feeling sorry for myself and took a huge leap of faith. Jumped in head first and, well, there are no happy endings here. After going through countless how to make it in music industry products, working in countless unfulfilling jobs, I failed. I failed miserably. I just couldn't make it work. I'll admit, I even thought about giving up. I thought that maybe I wasn't cut out for this. Maybe I was cut out to be an hourly slave. It was too late though, I couldn't look back. I burnt all bridges and I didn't care if my friends and family thought I was crazy. And because once I discovered that I could make money as a songwriter, I made a promise to myself that I would never work for anyone else ever again, no matter what. Even though I failed, I still knew that if others were making money songwriting, I could do it too. All I had to do was do exactly as they did. That's where it all started. This was the beginning of the second little insignificant event that changed everything and turned my life upside down and allowed me to finally crack the code to making money songwriting. Now, this is what took me from being broke to making up to $27,000 in a single payday. I did it by using these exact same strategies, techniques, and tactics that I'm about to share with you in the next 14 minutes. Hi, my name's David Jasmine. I'm a highly successful songwriter. It doesn't matter. I've written multiple songs for top celebrities. It doesn't matter. I went to a concert in Germany to see an artist perform all of my songs in front of 25,000 people. But still, it doesn't matter. I've been asked by major record labels to work with them. I turned them down each and every time, and it doesn't matter. I won an MTV Music Award in 2006, and that doesn't matter. So far, I've been able to change the lives of a handful of people by mentoring them. And to me, that's what matters, and that's why you're here. Now, I'm going to share something with you that I never publicly shared before. That will change the way you look at making money as a songwriter forever. And it will change your life. In this video, what I'm going to reveal to you has only been shared with a handful of people that I either closely work with or who have paid up to $5,000 in a closed-door invite-only mentoring group several months ago hosted by two close friends who are successful songwriters. Now, these are the strategies, techniques, and tactics that I've used to extract thousands of dollars from some of the most competitive markets in the music industry. If you're at this point right now and you're slightly skeptical, I don't blame you one bit. I'd be skeptical too, and I know it's hard to believe. But I'm not asking you to believe anything just yet. All that I ask of you is that you stay with me for a minute and refrain from not believing until you see the proof yourself. Here's actual proof that goes back years and years. Here is a check, one of many. Now, before sharing the formula with you, I've only shared these strategies, techniques, and tactics with a few people. And I wasn't sure that I wanted to publicly talk about this because, well, you see, I sort of don't like teaching songwriting. And if I did, you'd see me pumping out course after course. And I'm far from a guru. I'm a die-hard successful songwriter that makes money every day from my royalties, and I love every single minute of it. I did, though, give a few friends access and asked them what they thought about it before I recorded this video. Here's what they had to say. Matthew, Minnesota, USA. Now, just 9 months after finding David Jasmine and the Songwriting Science program, I've quit my 9-to-5 mech job and I'm making a full-time living just with the music and writing. All in all, the most important thing I've gotten out of the Songwriting Science program is exposure for my band and myself. I owe it all to the Songwriting Science and his program. Thanks for helping me live my dream. Kirby, Arizona, USA. After careful thought as to how to pursue my new musical career, I followed the steps laid out by David at first. I didn't hear much. I thought maybe I had forgotten to send something in the EPKs, or maybe there was just no interest in my work. But late one afternoon, I arrived home from work to find a letter in my mailbox. It was a record company interested in buying some songs I had written. They were most interested in using one song in particular for an international commercial. I couldn't believe it. It was starting to happen to me, the same way I had read about it in so many of those musicians' biographies. And now, thanks to David's course, I had a better understanding of how to negotiate royalties with my publisher and how to maneuver legalities as well. When the time came for me to sign that contract, I knew I was getting a good, long-standing deal with a really nice royalty check. Sarah, Washington, USA. The things I learned about how to make a career from my music has allowed me to focus entirely on my arts. In fact, I have been making more money from my music than I am from my photography. And David is clear and informative in each module and was able to answer a lot of questions about the business of music I had been unable to answer before, and even learning some legal jargon so I sound a little more impressive when I go in to speak with the big guys. I feel like I'm living a dream. I'm able to do exactly what makes me happy every day for money. I make enough money to go on tours, which makes me more money, invest in merchandise, that makes me even more money, and collaborate with other artists and completing records, which again makes me more money. The only other people who got a first-hand look either work with me or each paid $5,000 to attend a private invitation-only mentoring program several months ago, and they're not talking. In fact, what I'm about to share with you is so powerful that by the time you're done watching this video, you will never look at songwriting the same way again. And I'm talking from personal experience here. You'll see why in just a moment. Now, I hope that you're sitting down because what you're about to discover will change your life, just like it changed mine. Now look, I've been broke and I've made more money than I know what to do with. And here is something that you should know. The amount of money you can make here doesn't matter. It's not very important here. No, it's far from it. Trust me, I know this. What is important here is the amazing lifestyle, freedom, and peace of mind that you can experience once you have the ability to make a lot of money songwriting. It's the reason I can hop on jets and fly anywhere I please, anytime, at any moment's notice. Here's a picture I took in Hawaii. Here's a picture I took in the Algarve. It's the reason I'm able to stop working, fly down to the Maldives, take 2 weeks off and have a mini retirement. Here is a picture I took in the Maldives, and another. It's the reason that I'm able to see some of the most beautiful places on earth and enjoy the finest things that life has to offer. Downtown New York, Egypt. It's the reason I can buy my mum a house, finally being able to accomplish one of my life goals. It's also the reason I'm able to look into buying this grey top-of-the-line Aston Martin DPS, one of the most luxurious cars in the world. I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying this to impress upon you that if someone like me, who was completely clueless and broke, can jump in this game and succeed, there is absolutely no reason that you can't too. And to think, just a few years ago, if someone told me that I'd be living this type of lifestyle and making this much money, in all honesty, I would have thought they were crazy. But here I am. It's amazing just how much can change in a few short years. Now, before we continue, when you first start using this formula, you're probably not going to make $20,000 in your very first payday. But if I told you that, you and I both know that I'd be full of it. There's already enough hype-filled crap out there. And if you're anything like me, you're tired and fed up of all the hype these days. No, I'm not going to tell you that. So, what I will tell you instead is that when I first applied some of these strategies, techniques, and tactics that later went on to become parts of the songwriting science, in one of the most competitive markets in 2007, the indie market, I made up to $20,000 that month. So, before we jump in, this is a very limited time exclusive offer that I'll have to put off the market very soon. And if there are any copies left, you'll get your chance at the end of the video. Let me tell you about this breakthrough formula. Now, it's a strange thing how I stumbled upon it. You see, earlier I mentioned that there were two unexpected events that changed everything. The first event was in my own home. That TV program I was watching sent me to some website that sold some songwriting product. The site said something along the lines of, "It's possible to make money songwriting." And I believed it. And that caused me to quit my job and enter the world of songwriting. The second event took place in a very normal part of town. That's where it all started. The second little insignificant event that changed everything and turned my life upside down and allowed me to finally crack the code to making big money songwriting. This is what took me from making no money to making up to $27,000 in a single payday. You see, when I first started out, I had huge hopes, big dreams, and was looking for ways to get into the music industry, and everything I tried, I failed at. Sure, I made some money here and there, but just enough to get by. But nothing to brag about. Now, one day, I was in downtown Manhattan, and I met a guy, and it turns out that he was one of the most successful songwriters in the history of the industry. The reason I even took notice is that this guy makes millions of dollars per year, writing songs for other people. Now, we had a conversation, and he recommended I buy a book. Now, it looked interesting, so I bought a copy of the book. And who would have thought that this little investment would change everything? Now, keep in mind that this was written by a guy who made serious money, close to $100 million. So one of my rules in life is that whenever someone who is a lot more successful than you gives you a piece of advice, don't question it. Just do exactly what they say. And that's exactly what I did. In that book, there were two breakthrough concepts that allowed me to go from making no money to making well over $25,000 in a single payday in the music industry. The first idea was, as he called it, knowing how to market yourself. He said something along the lines of, marketing yourself and your music is the fastest way to the cash. The people that know how to market themselves and their music make the real money in this industry. This is the reason why you're only making a few dollars with your music, when you should be making a few thousand at least. And the second concept was going it alone. Now, he said that the single biggest mistake everyone makes when it comes to making a lot of money is trying to go it alone. Now, stop for a moment and just think about how powerful that is. I hope that you're fully getting it, because I was that guy on the poor man's road trying to figure out how to make money without knowing how to market, and trying to make it fast without a mentor. Trust me, it didn't work. So when it comes to making a lot of money as a musician, you have to get a mentor. And you need to do exactly what they tell you to do. That's it. So simple, yet so powerful. Why? Because I wasted 15 years of my life trying to crack the code to making money in the music industry without one. I hope you're fully getting just how important this is, and that those two ideas changed everything. Who knew one small investment would change my life forever? So I started asking myself over and over again, where is all the money in the music industry? And if it's not about just writing songs, then what's it all about? Then things started to click. Everything started to make perfect sense. Over the next few months, I used this as the core of the formula that I'm about to share with you, and discovered ways in which the average person in the music industry can start from scratch and begin making money relatively quickly. This was my big breakthrough in 2001, and the second event that changed everything and turned my life upside down. So I ended up calling it the science. The songwriting part comes in a minute. And the science was based entirely on 3 rules of success that I discovered are the key to making obscene amounts of money in the music industry. The first rule of making a lot of money as a songwriter is action. You see, if you're going to make money as a songwriter, then you need to realize something. You can do anything if you take action. Now, this is exactly what my millionaire mentor told me. He also said I had to take action right now and not wait. Now, stay with me here. It'll all make total sense. Once you know you need to take action, the question is, on what? Which brings us to the second rule, which is having the correct knowledge. The reason you are still watching this is probably because you know you need to act upon the correct knowledge. You know, learning off someone who has successfully done what you want to do. And let me tell you a big secret. Until you can do this one thing, you will forever remain an average musician. And that one thing is promoting yourself professionally. And that's the big difference between those who make peanuts and those who make the big money in this industry. You see, when you're starting out, you need to promote yourself because nobody knows you. Most likely, you already know this, but you wouldn't still be watching if it was going great. And that's why, when you start using the songwriting science, you'll focus a lot on promoting yourself and getting your music out there. And that's when things really start to happen. Record deals, contracts, higher paid gigs, media exposure, headhunters, and everything you ever wanted as a musician. So the question is, why don't you have all these things already? It's very simple. Because you lack the knowledge from somebody who has been there. Somebody who is willing to be your mentor to guide you to success in this industry. And the truth is, very few people in the music industry are full-time. If they are, they're probably not making a healthy income. All because they don't have the correct knowledge on how to be a huge success, which leads us to the final rule. Rule number 3, which is the idea of having a business course to follow that will get you those big checks if you follow it and take action. Now, Kurt Cobain said, I wish there had been a music business 101 course I could have taken. And you know what? I totally agree. I spent 15 years trying to figure out the music industry, and I was successful. But why take that long to make it when a small investment plus action equals success? You can learn everything that took me 15 years of trial and error to figure out and become a success in a short time. So once you combine these 3 rules, you'll have something that very few people will ever have. The ability to see how the big money is made in the music industry and how you can make it yourself. Chances are that you've probably never heard of these strategies before. And it's for a good reason why. And you probably will never hear about them anywhere else. It's simple. You see, I've only shared them with a handful of people that I either closely mentored or the group that paid up to $5,000 each to attend the by invitation only private mentoring mastermind several months ago. So you're probably wondering, David, Why are you openly talking about this? Great question. And honestly, over the past several months, I was able to mentor a few musicians and take their success to new levels. And so I asked myself, what if I shared what I really know? Not the stuff that everyone else talks about, but the stuff that's actually working, the stuff that's actually making money. Could I help a few more people succeed in the music industry? Could I cut through the noise out there and show you what's really working? I also realized that when I first started, I struggled. And so I promised myself that once I made it, once I had enough money to never worry about anything again, once I was able to travel the world, had everything I wanted, I promised myself that I would help others. Because life's just too short not to give back. And so that's exactly what I'm doing now. And that's why you're here. I'd like to give you the opportunity that I never had, yet always wanted. I'd like to mentor you and help you reach your goals. Now, if you're ready to use the songwriting science, all you'll need is to be able to spend a few hours a day, be able to kick back and relax and watch the videos and the step-by-step blueprints that I've put together for you. Yes, you'll actually be watching over my shoulder as I teach you the no BS ways to making it in the music industry and show you step by step how everything works, and more importantly, why it works, so you can get the big picture. And most important of all, yes, you'll also need to forget the idea that you can't make a healthy full-time income in the music industry. You no longer have to work for that boss you hate. You have to realize that if others can do it, that you can too. Now, you're still with me. Chances are that you're ready to start using the songwriting science. Great, but there's a catch. The catch is that this is a very exclusive, limited time opportunity that 99% of people will miss out on, and I might pull it down any minute. In fact, this is closed off to the general public, and it's by invitation only, so please keep this page to yourself and don't share it. Why? Because honestly, even though I love helping people, I don't want too many people using it. I only want to have the people who are truly willing, ready, and determined to make a real change in their lives. These strategies, techniques, and tactics have worked for me for the past several years. So, you have to understand this is not for everyone, and this might not be for you. This is for those who are ready to stop the never-ending cycle of constant learning, and who are ready to start earning a healthy full-time income as a songwriter. It's for those who desire to make change and create a better life for themselves and those around them. Now, if this doesn't sound like you, well, then please close this page now. This might not be for you. Hey, it can't be for everyone, right? So, however, if you're still with me, then here's what this is all about. This is a full 8-phase power music system that's designed to show you how to become a success in the music industry as a songwriter. Now, there is no other course like this on the market today. It's all about taking matters into your own hands and getting the correct knowledge you need to succeed in the extremely crowded and competitive market which is the music industry. Each phase is designed to help you get to the next level of success through phase 1 to 8 of the songwriting science. I lay out the exact formula for you to follow, all designed for you to get paid as a songwriter. No BS, just straight facts and information that will make you money if you take action. I will teach you everything from writing a song to earning big royalties from your work. I'll even share with you my 3 secret tips to finding work in the music industry that has gotten me work without fail. But it's one of the most devastatingly powerful strategies you can use, and you'll have instant access to it. To put it simply, at the end of the songwriting science, you will have written your own songs with the lyrics and promoted them professionally, getting those royalty checks. And believe me, once you follow everything I teach you in the songwriting science, you will be wondering why you have wasted so much of your time trying to go it alone. Before you start using the songwriting science for yourself, Here's my personal guarantee to you. Now, I want you to grab the Songwriting Science right now and try it for a full 60 days. Yes, I want you to go out and make as much music and money as you can. Go do this as much as possible so that you can enjoy your life and spend time with people that you truly care about. And if you're not happy for any reason whatsoever, and I really mean any reason, drop my personal assistant, Michelle, an email and she'll fully refund every single penny of your investment. That's my promise to you. Now, you're probably wondering, David, what's it cost to get the Songwriting Science? Knowing that these are some of the most powerful strategies that you've never shared publicly. Well, honestly, the money doesn't matter here. Because you see, if I had a chance to get someone to mentor me when I first started, knowing where it would have got me, and if it would have cut my learning curve by more than half, I would have gladly paid $5,000 or more for it, to be honest. Look, you won't pay that, obviously. You won't even pay half of that, which would be $2,500, which would be well worth it, considering you are getting the full A to Z course on making a full-time income being a songwriter. And you won't even pay half of that, which would be $1,250. Although I've had others tell me that I should charge at least this much for it. And no, it's not even $500. At which point would be a steal, considering this is the same system that made me $27,000 in a single payday. To get instant access right now to this full 8-phase power songwriting system that's designed to finally make you succeed in the music industry, all I ask of you is to make a one-time investment in yourself and your success. I hear you asking me, great, but how do I get started? Glad you finally asked. You can get started right now by simply entering your name and email into the form beneath this video, and you'll be taken to a special top secret page where you can complete your order and get instant access to the Songwriting Science. So, what I want you to do is just enter your name and email and then click the big orange Add to Cart button, and I'll see you on the other side.